Credit card versus debit card. Which is the best tool to help you make your daily purchases? What are they? How do they work? Which one is the most efficient for you to use, safest for you to use, and gives you the most benefits to use? We're going to cover that in this video. This is JP from Blueprint for Prosperity, helping you to customize your blueprint for prosperity through relationship banking, maximizing your borrowing capacity, the proper use of life insurance, and the ownership of real estate. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm uploading content on a daily basis to help you customize your blueprint for prosperity. So in this video, we're going to quickly cover the age-old battle between which one is most efficient, credit cards or debit cards. Basically, the first thing we need to understand is what each is. Your debit card is going to be a direct connection to you spending your own money. It's directly tied to your checking account. That money is going to immediately come out of that account, or at least the transaction will be initiated from your debit card. You're going to have some immediate benefits like the mobility, the acceptance rate, and you're going to also have budgeting tools that's going to come with that in most institutions, all built into your debit card. On the flip side of that, there are no additional bells and whistles for most debit cards anymore. Regulation changes in the years in the past have stopped banks from being able to issue points rewards on debit card purchases. But generally speaking, debit cards are a very straightforward and simple way, accessible way for you to be able to make your purchases, everyday purchases, and mostly any other purchase that you need to make for the most part, with a few small exceptions. When it comes down to things like fraud protection, debit cards are going to be somewhere in the middle in good to bad. It is your own money. So that means a bank is more like the middleman, not as much your protector when it comes to you experiencing any type of fraud or a disagreement between yourself and another merchant for a particular purchase. So if a wrong amount was charged, like you intended to do business with a merchant, but the wrong amount was charged, things of that nature, when they were supposed to take the money out, all of these different disputes that you can end up having with a merchant in the middle of a transaction, the bank is really the middleman. A lot of times we may experience fraud or experience a disagreement with a merchant. We immediately go to the bank looking for them to kind of put their cape on and save the day. Sometimes we run into a wall where either they're expecting a lot from us, like police reports and all kind of evidence of the transaction, or sometimes they flat out deny us for the claim. You have to understand that the bank is not actually responsible for those transactions. They're just housing your money. So they don't have as much incentive, or they don't have as much skin in the game in those transactions. They're just the middleman looking to mediate the situation. Now, on the flip side of that, when we start to transition over to credit cards are a financial tool that actually allows you to use the lender or the bank's money. It's not yours yet. So what that basically means is that changes the game on how it works. It changes the game on, how efficient it can be and how risky it can be to use. Again, your debit card is simple and straightforward. It's directly linked to your money and just gives you better accessibility. Your credit card, on the other hand, is going to be the lender's money, the bank's money. At this point in time now, the bank has a totally different investment in the purchases made on this card. So it gives you the same mobility and accessibility of your debit card. But now you're in a situation where you're responsible with somebody else's money. And this has some amazing benefits and it has some risks. On the fraud protection side, starting there, the bank has a different incentive now to get involved in fraudulent transactions. You will actually notice, if you do your research, that credit cards usually have 100% purchase protection. Even the most basic credit cards, you call up a lender or the issuer of that card and let them know that you've had fraud or some kind of disagreement on a transaction that went against your will, and they will almost immediately credit you back that money, probably issue you a new card and deal with investigations on the back end with that merchant. You're almost immediately out of the loop on that in most cases, as long as it was legitimately fraud. You also have the other side of the coin, not only better purchase protection, but you usually have access, once you get to a certain level, at rewards points and other benefits. It gets kind of juicy here because at this point in time, you're spending the same money, hopefully, that you would have normally spent with your debit card if you're responsible. But you're getting benefits, you're getting rewards benefits, purchase protections. You could be getting travel benefits and perks if that's what you want, cash back. gift card, money for gift cards. You can be getting a lot of different rewards and benefits back from the standard purchases that you may already be making. And it gets really exciting in this realm because now you're starting to get value for your same spend. And you can put a dent in inflation along with credit cards. You can also put together savings, not only on the purchase, but generate cash savings from using credit cards frequently enough. Now, when it comes to, some of the risks that are involved, your debit card, again, doesn't have the same level of fraud protection. But on the flip side, as long as you don't overdraft, your debit card is not ever going to have a charge. That money comes straight out where it's dollar for dollar. When you go to make a purchase and you pay that, it's automatically coming out of your account. There's no interest to worry about a month later, 2 months later on purchases. When you use a credit card, if you're not using it responsibly, and you're not paying it off in full, then you could be gambling or almost certainly to expect to have to pay interest after a 30 or a certain grace period after a 30-day period, after a statement cycle. And so now you're in a situation again, you're borrowing somebody else's money. If you don't pay it back within the agreed upon time, which is whatever that billing date is, then eventually that company has the ability to tack on some interest. And this is where the divide comes in, and you being able to understand what type of banking and spending you want to do. Where do you feel comfortable and where do you shine? Because your credit cards have amazing benefits. I personally am going to throw my 2 cents in and say that credit cards are actually my favorite financial tool, give or take. But they are definitely a tool that has a double-edged sword. If you use it properly, you get better purchase protections, you can get warranties, you can get amazing benefits at other, companies like hotels and airports, or airplane, travel companies, different things of this nature, renting a car. You can get amazing discounts, benefits, points rewards, perks, and things like that. Not to mention, probably the most important that I haven't named is you're building credit. Amazing benefit that you don't get with your debit card is even if you didn't get any other perk or benefit, you're building out your financial reputation that can lead to access to tons of capital and allow you to get great benefits down the line that can save you tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars on interest payments on mortgages and car loans because you're getting better interest rates on the things that you're borrowing and other aspects of your finances. On the flip side, if you don't use your credit card properly, you can ruin that same financial reputation by ruining your credit report with late payments, charge-offs, and you can accrue a ton of extra interest very fast with credit cards if you're not paying it off in full on a regular basis. So it's really important for you to understand how your mind works and how you're used to navigating spending your money. Or if you're completely new to banking, you're younger, or whatever the case may be, then this video should hopefully give you a guidance of a foundation of how to sort through which route to take. If you're conservative and don't think you can keep up with managing somebody else's money, paying, everything on time, paying it off in full, keeping up with all your purchases in that form of fashion, and you don't see a ton of value in trying to gain rewards points, benefits, and purchase protections, then credit cards may not be for you. If building credit is not a big concern or focus for you, which in most cases it probably should be, but for whatever reason, if it isn't, or you want to find another methodology to do so, then credit cards may not be your spill. But on the flip side, if you do value purchase protection, you do value rewards points and benefits, you do value all the extra perks and benefits, and you are responsible and conscious enough to monitor how you're using your cards and monitor, making sure you're making your payments on time or even early. If you can manage that proper usage of somebody else's money and get the benefits that come from doing it, and building credit is a big focus for you, credit cards are hands down the best option. But it is important for you to decide what fits for you, because to be completely honest, credit cards they're a high reward, high risk tool. That makes sense. If you use it properly, the rewards literally can be bountiful, plentiful. If you use it improperly, you're going to lose both of your hands and both of your feet. So you have to be careful what you're doing. Your debit card, simple, straightforward, but the highest risk comes in if you experience fraud. You could be stuck with the tab or have to go through a lot of hoops to get your money back. There's no bells and whistles, there's no credit building, there's no rewards points, but it's straightforward, it's accessible, it's mobile. So I want to bring this content to you as a banker or financial services professional. Many people out there who are deep into their financial journeys or just starting their financial journeys still haven't really figured out the nuances to debit cards and credit cards and what the differences are. And nobody should be ashamed of that. This education is out here for a reason, because it's not all black and white if you're not doing your research. So hopefully I condensed it down in this about 10 or 11 minute video to give you some context, and you took some notes and you thought about which might be better for you and give you the most value. Comment down below if you need me to go into more depth, or you have more questions, or if you just want to continue this conversation and which one you like to use or prefer to use and why. Comment down below. I know this content was valuable for you. I enjoyed bringing it to you. This is JP checking out. As always, I want y'all to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.